Hello and welcome back. Now in this video we want to set up our seeding function. Now this function will only be used to create users in the MySQL database. Now before we do that, let me just remind you, if we go to our services, Auth service, recall that once we create an Auth user, we publish a message to the user service so that we can add that same user to the MongoDB database as a buyer. Remember, every user that is created automatically is a buyer. Then once they are logged in, they can then create an account to become a seller. Okay, so now we have not implemented the feature that allows the buyers to be created or added to the MongoDB database. Okay, so maybe we can, once we create our seeding and we want to test, we can just comment this part out. Okay, so and then also we are sending an email in the controller. So if we go to sign up here, remember here we are publishing a message as well. Okay, so when we want to test, we can comment this part out as well. Now let us start in the Auth service. I'll go to controllers. I'm going to create a file called seeds.ts. Okay, so we want to create users. The way it's going to be implemented is simple. Once we create the controller, we create routes. Then we can just click on call the route. Okay, and then it will create the number of users we want. Okay, so we are just going to implement some of these parts that we already have in the sign up. Okay, now let's go to our browser so we can see the library we are going to use. So open npm. We are going to use at faker-js, okay, /faker. Okay, so this is the library we are going to use. I think some parts it was updated, so some things have been removed, but hopefully it should be enough for us. Okay, so this is the library we are going to use, and here we can check the documentation. Okay, so I think one is for the latest. Yeah, we can check the documentation. Okay, so get started. The first thing as usual will be for us to install. Okay, we'll need to install it as a normal dependency, not a dev dependency, because once we go on production, we also want to be able to seed our database. Okay, so just copy this part. Don't copy the -- save, just copy only this part. Okay, we want to install it as a regular dependency. Okay, so I will just click and open a new tab for this, and then I'll paste right here. So npm install at faker.js /faker. Okay, so while that is being installed, I'll open npm again, and then I want to install unique -username -generator. Okay, so I want to install this library, unique username generator. Maybe if you have another library you can use to generate usernames. Okay, so I'm going to use this library to just help us generate some unique usernames. Okay, so for this I'll copy as well and then install. Okay, so install this as well. Okay, now we have both packages installed. Now we can start using them right here. Okay, at first I'll import request, or let me do it this way. Let me just add the function and then I'll auto import. Okay, so the function I want to add is the create function. So I'll call this create, and it's going to take requests of type request. Okay, and then response of type response. As usual, promise void. Okay, now the only params we are going to have is the count. So the number of seed data we want to create. So maybe we want to create 5 or 10. Okay, so I'll get that from params. So this is going to be count equal to request.params. Okay, on the API, on the URL, we are going to have this count params, And now what I want to do is I will construct the username. So I'll first create an array that will be of type string. Okay, it's going to be an empty array. Now I'm going to use this loop or this count property to loop, okay, and then add all the usernames to this usernames array. Okay, so this is what I mean. I'll say for let I equal to 0, I is less than. Remember, any property you are passing into params will you always get it as a string, but we want this as a number. So I'll pass this, I'll call pass int, okay, and then I'll pass count, and then the radius value, I think in base 10, okay, right here, and then I plus plus, okay. So what I want to do here is I want to loop through this count variable, okay. So if this count variable is 10, then we are going to loop 10 times, and then in each loop we are going to add the username to this usernames array by using the generate username or unique username generator function, okay. So here what I'm going to do is I'll say const username of type string equal to generate username, okay, and you can see it's imported from unique username generator. Now this takes in some properties. It takes a separator. So for our case, the separator is going to be empty, and then it takes in random digits and then the length, okay. So I'll set the random digit value to 0, and then the length should be 12, okay. So the username length, because in our validation I think the maximum value is 12, okay. So I'll set the username digit to 12, and now let's push this username into this list, okay. So I'll say usernames.push, and now I want to convert the username first letter uppercase, and then I'll pass in the username, okay. So now whatever the count is, we are going to create the usernames based on the count and then add it to the usernames list, and then we are going to use this usernames list to create the actual user data and then send it to our MySQL database, okay. Right now the MySQL database I have is empty, okay. So right here I'm going to loop. So I want to loop through the usernames list. So let I equal to 0, I less than usernames dot length I plus plus, okay. So at first we created the usernames based on the count. So if the count is 20, we are going to create 20 usernames, and then we use the usernames list to loop. So for each of those username, we are going to create a document or a row in the MySQL database, okay. So here I will get the I'll say username equal to usernames at index I, okay. So because we are using the index, so whatever the index, if it is 0, this is going to be 0, okay. If it is 1, if I is 1, then this is going to be 1, just like that, okay. And now let us create the email. We are going to use the faker library to create the email. So const email equal to faker.internet.email. So let us import faker, okay. Now if you have a better library that can give you, because some of these values we're going to add will just be some random values, okay. So we have the username, we have the email. Now for the password, I will use the same password so that if in case I want to log in, then I'll remember the password name, because I don't want to use random passwords, because if I use random password I will not be able to see the password in the database. So with this, I know that all users will have the same password, all the seed data. I can log in with any user so that I can remember, okay. And then we need country. Let me open the sign up so that we use that as a reference. So we need the country, okay. So this is going to be country equal to faker.location dot country. Okay, and then we need profile picture equal to faker dot image dot URL pick some photos, or you can use avatar, whichever one you want. So I want this to be a URL. Okay, this is the profile picture. Now for every user that is created, we want to check if it already exists. Okay, I think it's appropriate for us to do that, otherwise we'll have duplicate users and we might get an error. Okay, so we want to do this here. So I'll copy this part from sign up. Okay, paste right here. Let me now do the necessary imports. Okay, so for every user that is created, or every username, we want to, an email, we want to check if they already exist. If they already exist, then we just throw an error. So invalid credentials, username. Okay, so this is going to be seed create method error. Okay, and then the next thing is, let us create our profile user ID. You can copy that and let us import, so we can get this from here. Okay, and then the next thing, as usual, we can copy. We need this. We are not going to upload. Okay, so we are not uploading anything to Cloudinary because we are generating the fake data using this URL pick some photos. Okay, and now let us copy this random parts. So we create some random characters. Okay, and then we are going to do that using crypto. Okay, we can get crypto from here. Okay, so we have that. And then what is the next thing we need to do? Remember, we are not going to send, if I go to sign up, we are not going to send any, we are not going to publish any message. Okay, so we are not publishing this message. So what I'm going to do instead is just construct our Auth data. So this right here, Auth data, we need to construct it. Okay, and here we have the username. Okay, here we don't really need this, but it's still fine. Email, then profile picture ID, password, country. Oh, this is supposed to be country. Okay, and then profile picture, I'm going to use the same value right here, profile picture. And then for email verification, I'll add these random characters, but yeah, for this I'll set all email verified property for each user to be 1, to be true. Okay, so for each user I'll set this to be true. Okay, or maybe we can randomly select 0 or 1. Okay, let's see if we can use random from Lodash. Okay, or instead, okay, you know what, let's stop here. I'll just set this to 1. Let's stop here. In the next video we continue with this seeds create method.